Eat, eat, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we out here on the spot. Kind of a late review, but we're just getting everything crammed in because a lot of stuff has happened on Raising Kanan.
Definitely.
One sec here. But yeah, I'm one of your hosts, of course, Easy Young.
Nat Mighty Young.
Gang, we out here. But fucking yeah, Raising Kanan, season 4, episode 4. I mean, it kind of carries off from the previous episode where, you know, the grandma or Rock's mom told him like, "Yeah, I got cancer, dying." But then, you know, the episode just kind of begins and carries off that. It's like, you know, how are you just gonna drop us like that? Here's the thing: Rock's kind of being like, "Yo," I mean, I understand she's got emotional. You know, they break it down to the scene where, you know, it's just an emotional. It's, you know what I mean. She feels like their mother abandoned them, but she gives reasoning that when their dad, you know, offed himself, like it's a burden for her. She feels like she failed as a wife, a mother, and Rock's just mad that she had to pick up the weight. But like, I think she's not understanding the emotional burden. Like, hey, I mean, her husband got like offed himself. That's some emotional trauma. One does not just function right away. And I understand it's her duty as a mother to get through things, but you know, you know, I'm sure me and you know, with parents, you know, you got sometimes you just need a little break, you know, and Rock just giving it to her, man. She does not.
Yeah. No, definitely. You could also tell Rock was really emotional while she was like spewing at her. Like a lot of it had to do with her, like living with the fact that I guess her mom is sick. That she's gonna lose her mom one of these days. You know. Feel
Yeah,
like
and I'm sure it's eating at her too. It's eating at Rock easily. Like, you know, not something you just walk off. And she kind of made a point about like how y'all kind of just mistreated me and, you know, don't want to talk to me or whatever like that. Like, I try really hard, and I think Rock can kind of feel her side with her relationship with Kanan. You know, this whole series has been about their beef. Realistically, let's be real. They've gotten on good terms, right? I'm not gonna say they haven't, but they've been at a beef pretty much the whole show, battling heads a little bit. And Rock's kind of now in her mom's position where her kids are against her, or her kid, you know what I mean? Kanan's against her, and she's, I don't know. I think this is a chance for Rock to try to break that cycle. But
yeah, definitely, especially now that she got to like see it with the full, you know, with the mom and with the mom and the dad, you know, and then with the siblings, you know, with the experience. Like she has a chance to fix it for sure, especially with her son and with whatever's coming next. Like she could, if she really wanted to, she could improve. We'll see, I guess.
more so on that later though. But Marvin's basically dealing with Tremont, who we haven't seen since I believe season 2. Tremont's basically out in Baltimore slinging the heroin, and well, I mean, he basically gets beat up by Marvin, tortured to. Well, we find out when Rock pulls up trying to play roulette with an empty gun that they just want to connect. They just want to connect, and that's pretty much it. You know, straight to the point. So it's good that we saw an old actor again. You know, from previous seasons. I like how Raising Kanan or Power does that. You know, kind of brings him back, but maybe we'll see him again. I don't know.
Yeah. No, Tremont, the man that we saw back in season 2. You know, when he cut his own deal with Joaquin. You know, cut out Rock, pissed her off. Looks like she got her revenge.
I still remember that one line from that scene. My meat's still bigger than yours. That was crazy.
That was hilarious.
And then, I mean, little moment down the episode. I mean, again, it's following up from I forgot his name, the short dude who counts Kanan's money.
OC.
Yeah, OC. Yeah, so we know that he saw Unique in the ending of the last episode, but he doesn't tell Kanan from what we obviously know. Just doesn't seem like he knows Unique is back. And obviously we think maybe OC was held under pressure, like he'll clip him and his family or some shit like that if, you know, he tells Kanan. But basically he's just an intel person at this point, finding out what Kanan's doing and basically try to see what we can do from there.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's Crazy, how OC is really smart. Even though he has those allergies and stuff, he has those deficiencies. But
Man's in the powder.
yeah, maybe you never know. But it seems like he has. It seems like he knows a whole lot. A whole lot of knowledge.
Yeah, but I think Kaden tries to put Aisha and Jukebox kind of in a thing where they kind of have to be friends, for the sake of Kanan. And Jukebox is still a little about it, but I mean, at the end of the day, she's like, we don't know what's gonna happen further, but we just know for now that Kanan wants them to kind of be on good terms.
Oh yeah, especially in his eyes, they're two of the most important people in his life right now. So there's nothing more better than for him thinking that they're the best of friends.
No, for real. And then, kind of get straight to the point. We're just moving through this episode here, but yeah, I would say not much happened, but enough did happen. Basically, at this point, like, Lou's meeting with some, not meeting with her, I guess, like some image consultant who's trying to, I guess, puff up Marilla's image, because Lou's like a, producer, A&R dude kind of guy, but he doesn't know how to market or like sell an artist, make the public believe in them. And she comes from pop, so Lou about it really. And at the same time, Lou's just kind of skeptical about someone else mingling in his business. And he's like, hold on, I'm the one running this whole label of like A&R marketing and stuff. But it's like, nah, sometimes you can't do everything good though. Sometimes you gotta put some eggs in another basket, let other people handle some part of the work, so that way everything can come perfect. So we see Lou a little bit gonna have to struggle with that too, I'm sure, trying to work with other people and trying to take over the rap game. And I think that's gonna be his obsession, not the hit rap game, but the music industry. He's gonna get so locked into it, I think maybe it'll eat at him too much, who knows.
That's facts. That's facts. Too much, man. It's just crazy.
Lou's gotta chill sometimes. I don't know. It's kind of interesting because, like, ever since he's been sober, he's still the same Lou in a way, same attitude, but he just seems a little more hot-headed. Well,
yeah.
Not hot. I don't want to say hot-headed, like he's acting, crashing out, but he doesn't seem in a good mood. He doesn't like to accept things, and.
Yeah,
maybe
like
we'll see a better, opening side of him, a more open Lou down the road.
Yeah, it reminds me of Lou back in season 1, early season 2. Like, whenever he was like normal, bro, the way he was functioning, like it's like he was cool, but he was doing the right things, but he just wasn't. It's like he wasn't happy,
He just wasn't phased. It's like stuff doesn't interest him at times. I don't know.
But
as long as he thinks he's Dr. Dre.
Yeah, I guess he's in his zone. He's locked in, and he's just trying to. He's the best thing for Lou is to stay healthy. I guess.
And in terms of everything going forward, though, Marvin's now about to put Early, who is basically Unique's homie, who knows he's alive. Gonna put Early, who's into the booking game and illegal street betting, that kind of stuff on games and like that. He meets into Stefanos, basically, and Stefano. And I don't know why I keep putting an S at the end. S just sounds more exquisite, I guess. But he gets him to meet with Stefano, basically, to set up a little thing where he handles the betting parlor that that one dude that Marvin clipped in the opener of the season, that was a former bookie, I guess, for Stefano. And pretty much, I guess Early's in a more prominent role now. I didn't really expected that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, it's like he's getting more screen time. Definitely getting more time for us to know his character, especially after being known as like somebody who helped Unique. Seems like he's gonna be very, very relevant to what happens to Unique's story, like moving forward towards the end of the season.
I still think Early gets clipped by Unique.
I think he does possibly, but I don't know. I feel like the more Unique finds his rhythm, I feel like he's probably not gonna need to. But
No, because he knows Early's been a homie and has his back and like gets him info they need. So like at the end of the day, it's like you're getting rid of, you're making it harder for yourself basically at the end of the day. There might be a point where we'll actually have to discuss this for another time actually, where Early and Unique may actually be battling heads because they may find themselves on opposite ends. Well, again, we'll discuss that for the next episode discussion because there's some stuff in there. We'll also be covering that. But basically, Kanan meets Quan with the help of Snaps and Pops. Basically, he took an L, got robbed, couldn't pay him back. Snaps made a good point about, you can lose money, but we still making the same profits as always, so that's on you. Your losses stay your losses type of deal. And they help him out though. They know Kanan's been good. They know he's trying to be real, so they can see him as potentially the next Ronnie per se. And they link him up with Quan, who's also supplying Rock's operation also. You know what I mean? So it just becomes a little more interesting now. It's like they're back into the same connect, kind of not working together, but in the same atmosphere. But Rock's getting a little heat at times because, maybe remember a previous episode before, Quan increased the price on her. She's a little sloppy, not really. She's not the best, you know what I mean, to Quan's eyes, and I guess he's trying to up her standard, and I don't know. It's just Quan's gonna be an interesting player going forward. I can see him in season 5 for sure.
no, definitely. He's probably going to be somebody that Kanan works with down the line. Hopefully, maybe we'll see if he survives this season. But definitely, like you could tell, like he's getting tired of Rock. He's just like, he just wants to deal with somebody that's like, I guess, honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, damn, like, that's how he really feels. It's like, whoa.
And then an intricate part of the episode, Jukebox is after meeting a woman at a club. They're about to leave together, but little did Jukebox know that this woman's married, and her husband comes in, just wide on the side, just pushes her, which I felt like Jukebox oversold, but it is what it is. But she got pushed to the ground, and that girl was taken back by her husband, thrown in a car because they went home because, just whatever. And Jukebox is just laying there, and I'm like, did it really hurt that bad? But I guess he got pushed really, you know what I mean? I guess you get suddenly pushed, you're gonna, react. But yeah, that happened.
No, that's crazy, bro. It's like, wow. It's like there's sick people like that in this world. It's kind of sad,
Yeah, keep in mind, it was the early 90s when I guess this stuff was less acceptable at the time, so unfortunately, that's just the realism of art and how they portray it. It's pretty cool. At least in Raising Kanan, they showed the realness of it.
Yeah, no, the realness of it is definitely raw. It's definitely needed to be depicted on screen so people would understand what was going on back in the day, which makes sense.
But then, straight to the point, we want to get to the juicy matter of this episode, because again, this is like the transition between like the halfway point of the season. Basically, Rock wants to she just meets with one of the Arabs in the restaurant, and she wants to be the connect. Not a distro, she wants to be the sole connect, and she has to go and meet with these Arabs, or this Arab guy, I guess, in a meeting. Afghanian. Yeah, what did I say? Arab? Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's about the same,
Let's not say that on the spot. We don't want to risk any racial slander. But let's keep that separate. We do not know over here to confirm. But overall, though, it was Afghan, and I remember the cuisine. That's why it was the restaurant. Yes. Okay, that's why. The kebabs. But anywho, basically, she goes and meets with the Connect now, and this is interesting because the way the guy phrased it, he broke it down for people who may not understand. Rock doesn't just want the supply, buy it at wholesale and sell it to people. She wants to be a connect, meaning she wants to have like El Chapo's dope all ready to go for her to give to prime people. She wants to be the wholesaler. You know what I mean? She wants to be the one to do that. So to do that, the guy broke it down. I gotta get a new field. I gotta get a new lab. I gotta get resources. I gotta get people dedicated just for you. You know what I mean? This is a big expense, and he's not familiar with her, but it's a big expense. You know, you're not just asking to buy a dope for 10,000 and go flip it on the street to some people. No, you're gonna want to get millions of dollars worth of dope and distribute it wholesale and make that money back. And the way he broke it down, for the people who don't know, I know now you know this. In Breaking Bad, the Gus Fring's lab, the meth lab, it was almost in that. That's how I thought of it. Like he has to invest that kind of money, cultivating her resources, staff, and people to, you know what I mean, get the drugs prepared and everything like that, dedicated for one person. So she's asking for a lot. You know, this is a serious thing. I mean, I don't know about you, but yeah, if I'm asking to be a connect, I gotta go balls out and fucking try hard. I don't even know.
No, that's facts. That's facts, bro. That's what I would do too if I was a connect. Like, I would try to think outside the box, you know? Just go nuts.
You know, when it comes down to it, I mean, might be a big power move for Rock, but I mean, just by this, you know, we'll have to see how it plays out. This could actually be a big thing going forward in season 5.
Yeah. And
kind of like in Ghost when we're going to spoil here, but well, actually we discussed it anyway. Remember in Ghost when Monet became the plug? Because remember Norma, like she slipped into that role of being the boss, and nobody liked it.
Yeah, I remember.
Out of her control, yeah. And so it's like, yeah, you bitches are working for me now. No one wants this shit ready to go. You know, all this shit. I was like, what the fuck? But it's kind of like that. I think Rock's gonna be the connect, and Kanan. You know, even so, Quan might be taken out to the point where Rock will make sure that Kanan's the only, like, she'll be the only supply for Kanan in any big capacity.
Yeah, that's probably what she's gonna try to do. She's gonna try to keep making it harder for Kanan, so he'll have no choice but to go to her.
Yeah, because remember in earlier seasons, she was giving money to Freddy. She put the gun in his backpack, and she was just trying to slow him down. That way, Kanan needed him.
You mean Famous?
Oh my god, yeah, Famous. Why did Famous kill Freddy, bro?
Man.
No. I'm saying this. Why did Famous killing Freddy now confuses me with Freddy and Famous? You know what I mean? The names. So
yeah, it's crazy.
That's all it is. But I still remember that moment too. It's like, oh, Famous? That's you under that mask. I was like,
yeah, it's crazy.
But no, I mean, straight to the point. Yeah, we go to the next part. Unique basically some I forgot the dude's name, but they actually said the name later. Unique is one of the dudes shoot up the dope spot, like where Rock's working, like the Chinese truck delivery people.
Damon.
Damon, that's who. Yeah.
Yeah, he went to New Jersey to recruit him.
That's yeah. That one scene, okay. And he thought he was dead. And they brought him, and I remember that. Okay, and then so basically when when after all said and done,
bringing back all characters, you know.
And I was saying, when all said and done, like the Rock and Marvin pull up to, like, you know, price of doing business, and I forgot it was Terry. Yeah, his name is Terry. The one who bribed initially. They try to bribe him with like not bribe him, but they coerced him, blackmailed him with like photos just using against his wife and shit. But basically he was just like, fuck this shit, what the fuck, like we didn't sign up to die, and you know, they'll get extra protection. Now they realize Damon could be alone. Now they're having suspicions now. They're like, Damon ain't smart enough to do this shit, you know, like, alone especially. There had to be a second, you know. Why don't they have cameras in that bitch? It's crazy, you know? It's like, what the fuck?
No, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's like, what the hell? Like, what? Like, the protection. You would expect more.
No, like, that's crazy how 2 people were able to clip everyone in and out.
Bro, what the fuck? They gotta start preventing shit like this, bro. Like, shit like this can't keep happening. Yeah,
but no, it's just one of those things where you know, Rock's not really sympathetic to the situation. You know, price of doing business, that kind of deal.
Facts.
You know, and Harry didn't really sign up for this. He was blackmailed into it. That's what's fucked up.
Yeah, that's true. He was. It's like he didn't. He definitely. Man, he just like, you know, this, that. Like he's just. He's really. He did not envision this. Him and his family.
Mm-hmm.
You can just tell.
And then the funny part, well, to me anyway, when Kanan tries to go meet with Stefano. I said it right this time, I got it. But he goes to meet him, and it's kind of funny because I'd assumed that point was going to be lit. Stefano's going to take advantage of an interesting partnership with him and Rock on the side, that kind of deal. But then he kind of just tells him off straight up and says, yo, listen up here. Your mom borrowed $500K from me to save your life. My kids aren't even worth that, in my opinion. Not even a G note. That's what he said, a G note. So basically, I'm gonna do her some respect. You get the fuck out of here, kid. You know what I mean? Like he made straight to the point. Is he a captain or a boss? He's not a boss, is he?
I'm not really sure, but Stefano.
He's high ranking for sure.
Yeah, definitely. He's a high ranking member of a family for sure. Yeah. But he's definitely ahead of a family. But yeah, he's loyal to Rock. That's what it shows.
No, he made a good point. Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, it's a good callback to, you know, like, again, this finale season 3, she had to borrow money because Ronnie and Kanan, you know, had that fake hostage thing for Kanan. And, you know, I think Stefano came back to thinking about it and was just like, hold on a second. You're trying to be shady and do business behind your mother's back, but she's the one who saved your life. You know, it's, even though he doesn't know the situation, how Ronnie was set up and all.
Yeah, that's true. Even though they don't know.
They don't really know that part. They just know 500K was taken to save Kanan. But, nah, basically, Jukebox, she's just trying to clean up the bruises at home when Marvin walks in and sees it. And that's when you know, as a viewer, that's when you know shit's about to go down. And here's the thing, I even actually checked my timer on the episode, because I was worried that the episode was gonna end or be near ending. We don't get to see anything after that. You know what I mean? I was gonna say, oh, what? How are you gonna do that shit, bruh?
No, man. I was like, whoa, damn.
No, Marvin finding out, man. I mean, it's like a dad finding out his daughter got, I don't want to say hit in this case, you know what I mean, but got bruised in a confrontation, assaulted. She got brutalized. Not like that, but basically, but kind of straight to the point though. I forgot his name. Is this Scarelli or Starelli, the mobster who died, the Marvin killed?
Berselli.
Why am I saying Scorsese? I was gonna say Scorsese, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, I forget too. I'll be forgetting too.
Berselli, yeah, Berselli family. That's who. Yeah, but he goes to meet with Miss Berselli, you know, his wife, spouse, widow. And basically he's like, yo, Rock fucked us both, man. Took away some of mine, took away some of yours. Do me a solid, see what I can do for you, you know. And she gives him the number to who we'll again discuss who it leads to a person who can assist Unique in his efforts to get vengeance for both him and Miss Berselli. Which, I mean, I think that is a teaser for a lot down to come, especially in this season. I think a lot of action's gonna happen now in this season going forward.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like this season, especially after season 5, the midway point, we're gonna see a lot more.
Aren't they in Jersey? Isn't Berselli in Jersey?
Yeah, I mean he was in Jersey. Yeah.
No, like that's his whole. That's where his family's based, and Stefano's
New
Jersey.
York. Yeah, he's like the small part. Yeah, Jersey.
Okay, gotcha. I'm just trying to keep everything. So yeah, Unique's got a new reference he can go to in New Jersey. So this ain't New York. So keep in mind, Rock with Stefano, Unique out in Jersey, meeting someone new. See what goes on there. That's gonna be something major. But then we get a little sit down between Lou and Kanan. Kind of an emotional part, kind of off topic from what's been going on from the whole episode, but They talk about Fame.
Yep.
Where's Fame? And
Where
they're
is
like, where's Fame? And you know, it's. I mean, I like what STARZ did. I think STARZ did it. They put, you know, where's Famous at? You know, missing, that kind of stuff. And I mean, yeah, just like wondering if he snitched and he ran away, or like, you know, they're not trying to think the worst that happened, but you know what I mean. Even Luke kind of says like, I don't think Fame's fucking around. I don't think anything happened. You know, and I don't think he did. I don't think like he's running is that type of deal. You know what I mean? He's Luke's trying to say that.
No, that's facts. It's like, what the hell?
It's kind of interesting though. They used that as a good storyline going forward because everyone was wondering what's gonna happen to, you know, Fame. At the end of season 3, like, oh shoot, what's gonna happen to Fame? And season 4, episode 1, we were waiting, but then after that, they did that flashback episode, you know. And episode 2, we were waiting. 3, and you know what I mean? Like, it was briefly addressed, but not really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's slowly being addressed. I just don't like it, you know. It's just slowly been being addressed, you know. Haven't been really seeing no action being done, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, I mean, the writing's got to be something good, you know. Hopefully, it's better than Ghost season 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm baking on too.
And then Rock gets notified by the feds that her lawyer Andre is dead. He didn't know. He's freaking out, but the thing is, she doesn't freak out for the cops. She tells them to leave because they're trying to get info. And when they leave, that's when she's like, "What the fuck?" Like, yo, just after, you know. So that means someone's following Rock. That's when she gets that instincts. Like, someone clipped him soon after the meeting with Rock. Someone was either following them, you know what I mean, or has a lead on them. But either way, I hope they get its address, you know, down the road.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Marvin and Juke, then they go on that mission. Well, Marvin goes in first to the apartment and beats the fuck out of that dude, the husband of the one chick Jukebox trying to hit on. And she was trying to hit on the chick whose husband pushed Jukebox to the ground, as you said earlier. And she's chilling in the car. She's looking at the clock, waiting. Marvin's beating this dude's ass, beating him. And as he's about to leave, dude just grabs a knife and then, like, he's like, kind of gets him in his shoulder, his right shoulder, right?
Yeah, somewhere like that. So I think somewhere like his leg, hand, or his like shoulder, like somewhere in the arm.
Yeah, that tendon area, like in between the arm and the shoulder. He stabs Marvin in there, and you know, hopefully that doesn't play. I mean, that's probably gonna play a vital role going forward in terms of like that pain. But at the same time, it's also worrisome. Like, damn, Marvin. I don't know. It's like his DNA's all over the scene. It's a murder, kinda. You know, like not murder, but a fight. Because the dude's like all beaten up, and then just as he's about to stab Marvin, and he's on top of him, Jukebox just comes in and clips the dude. And in that moment, you're kind of thankful. Marvin has to be a happy father, but at the same time disappointed. You know what I mean? Like he resorted to that. You know what I mean? Like,
no, facts.
Remember Tasha's reaction when she saw Reek kill Ray Ray? Like, she didn't see him kill him, but you know what I mean? She saw him with the guns, like, give me the gun, son. Give me the gun. You know, he's like holding it still. And here, though, Marvin was just like, let's get the fuck out of here first. Then they got in the car, and he's like, yo, you good? Like, we want to talk. And he's like, let's get the fuck out of here. Dude was like, no, let's go.
Yeah,
you know, they're built different. It's crazy.
They just didn't have time to process it, you know? They just had to go in a hurry. You know,
Yeah.
Juke didn't even have time to like talk about it. She just wanted, her mind was just to get out of there.
In that moment, that's all you want to do. Just get the fuck out of there, because no suppressor, keep in mind. It's an open, loud shot.
Hell, bang, bang.
Like, I don't know. That was that perfect timing, that sequence. And now we know what, I don't want to say what sets her off, but the initial part of it, you know what I mean? What makes Jukebox?
Yeah. So you can see, we could start seeing that it's the beginning of her of how she becomes how she how she becomes the juke that we remember from the OG Power.
The jukebox that we see is evolving. This same jukebox is the one that held Tariq hostage for money and was gonna smoke him.
Cold
Crazy
hearted.
work.
Crazy.
Work. But that anyway does wrap up Raising Kanan Season 4, Episode 4. Of course, we hosted this episode tonight. I feel a little late, but still a little on time. So a few delays going forward. Everything else should be a doozy moving forward, though. I'm one of your hosts, of course, as I said, Yeezy Yon.
And Mighty Young.
We out.
Peace.